Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of Dingers and Stingers, the podcast that, just like you, is wondering how Ketel Marte could get fired on his day off. And later on in the show, we will talk about the drama in Arizona between their Diamondback star second baseman Ketel Marte and the team. We will also take a visit to Fan Corner. We'll make some predictions. But first, we want to start our MLB show this week with some talk about the news of the week, which was sort of broken by Commissioner Rob Manfred on Sunday Night Baseball last week. It's not necessarily news in that anything's happening imminently, but it was one of the more recent times that he spoke positively about the ideas of both realigning baseball and also expanding into new teams. And so we wanted to get our thoughts in on what we think that situation could look like, what we would want it to look like. And so for anyone who doesn't know, he appeared on Sunday Night Baseball broadcast, did an interview. One of those things that he does, once a year or so, they'll go on a national broadcast and talk a little bit. And this time,
was the Little League Classic game, right? So it's like a special event.
Yes, the Little League Classic. And so this time, the agenda that he had to speak about, he wanted to get some news out there about realignment and expansion. So let's just run down a little bit about what he talked about specifically. So if you guys could take us through, which areas did he talk about expanding to? How did he speak about realignment? Educate the people on what went down.
Yeah, well, there's been talk of expansion in Major League Baseball for a while, similar to NBA, and NHL has actually followed through. They've added a couple teams in the last 10 years or so. And yeah, this was, to my knowledge, the first time that Rob Manfred, the top of baseball, the commissioner, said so boldly, in so many words, expansion is coming. We're looking to expand, and then possible. The clip I saw was like he mentioned geographical realignment, which is kind of vague, right? We know that means obviously where these teams are located, but it does they already are kind of sorted that way. So it's like, what exactly does that mean? And so the internet got very excited about this and was sharing, old articles and people proposing different ways we could expand and realign these divisions. And it's gotten the whole world thinking. So that's basically where we're at right now.
Yeah. So, like I said, nothing imminent as far as changes to the baseball world goes. But as far as timeline, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this and put a little over under on it. So what do you guys think? Over under 5.5 years until we see expansion and realignment. So that means 2 teams added and a realignment of the divisions or the conferences, or the leagues or whatever. And so over under 5.5 years. What do you think?
I would say under, personally. I mean, I feel like we already see a couple things on the move in the league, with Sacramento or, Oakland, whatever you want to call them, heading to Vegas, and there's some new stadiums being built. I just feel like there's a lot of movement and fluidity, and if they're already talking about it, we have this new deal coming up next year, is it? Or the year after? I feel like, 5.5 years from now, so we're realistically talking 5 or less. I think we see some movement for sure. And whether or not, is that the team is officially in the league and playing, or is it one of those we have a team in place? It will be, we're going to build out the stadium, we're going to build out the infrastructure, all of that. I definitely think that as far as in the league and playing, maybe a little more delayed than that, but I still think 5.5 sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it'll be under 5.5 years for us to know which cities are getting teams and when it'll be coming. But I do think it'll be over before we see these teams actually play games. I totally agree that, it's going to be in the next collective bargaining agreement, which is after the 2026 season, I believe. And there's already a lot of, worry about that being another lockout, and maybe we even lose a whole season if things get crazy enough. We'll obviously see. I don't imagine the issue of expansion will be too much of a problem for players, because if, even if it will potentially would like lessen the total money that they could get or whatever, it gives them more opportunities to be employed. I mean, we see if we had, 2 more teams with 26-man rosters with the whole minor league system under them, like that is just so many more opportunities for professional baseball players. So I imagine it's more of a when rather than an if for this. So it gets me excited. The last time they expanded was 1997, and I was too young to know about that. So it'll be cool to see 2 new teams.
It was really exciting.
And Matt remembers.
Yeah,
he was following very, very closely at that time. About 1 or so years old, or about there, right?
So give or take,
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That, I mean, now I see just like a baby, like with the newspaper being like, wow, they're expanding. That's a good image for me. So
for realign.
Yep. Well, if they add any more, they're going to have to realign. I don't know when that's going to happen. But
it's going to take some time.
It'll take some time to realize. And he blew it. No, getting back to the expansion part of it, there's been cities that have been mentioned. Nashville has been mentioned. Portland's been mentioned. More than mentioned, Portland has stadium plans. And Nashville might as well. I haven't heard too much about that. But so are these the cities you guys like to see? Are there other cities you think aren't being considered that you would like to see considered? What cities do you guys want MLB to expand into?
I would personally, my first choice would be, if it's 2 teams, 2 different cities, it would be Montreal and Oakland, because even though they've had teams, they're 2 cities that have lost teams in the last, Oakland, it was just last year, but Montreal was 20 years ago. And I just feel bad for those people. And I'd like the Montreal Expos to exist again. I think that would be cool. I don't know what the Oakland team would be. And I actually don't think Oakland is even possible, because I think once the A's abandoned, that area became Giants territory, and like technically they have claim on it. And there's weird rules with that. So like you can't be too close to another team. So if, a more realistic version, I would love Portland. It's a city that I've been to many times, and I really enjoy my time there. And it would be nice for the Mariners to have another team that's like somewhere in the realm of their geographical area, because they are just so far away from everyone else. And then I would prefer Charlotte to Nashville, or, somewhere in the Carolinas, just because I think it's, it's like a less represented place in the sports world right now. Or I guess they're kind of even, but, it's coastal, and I like the vibe there better, but, really I could go either way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on the Portland team. That would have been absolutely by far my number 1 choice. It just kind of bridges the gap of the West Coast teams, and makes a very cohesive coastline, which I can appreciate. A second team, I would love to see another team in potentially Canada. I think that would be really fun. Usually it's interesting because with NFL, I'm so against major international expansion. I don't feel that way with baseball for some reason. I would be so cool seeing Mexico City. I would be so cool seeing Vancouver, or like you said, Montreal. I would be cool seeing some of these international teams popping up, and obviously not anything too crazy. You don't want guys going down to Brazil or something, but it's it could be cool to bring in just a new facet of entertainment to the game. And baseball is trying to expand its reach. So there's whole other countries that love baseball a whole lot, and giving them a team to kind of all rally behind. You can only imagine the atmosphere going to home games there. It would just be crazy. It would be awesome. So I don't know if it's the exact city, but I think it'd be fun.
Vancouver would be cool because right now the whole country of Canada is just, they all claim the Blue Jays, but Canada's big and they're far away. So they all invade Seattle every year and in Minnesota every year, and Milwaukee every year. And it would be cool if they could split up the Canadian fan base a little bit, because people in Canada like baseball. I also, in what you were saying, thought of for the first time, I don't know if this is feasible at all, but like a Gulf of Mexico area team, like a Puerto Rico based team or a Dominican based team, because
dude,
they love baseball. Insane. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, we already do the international travel for the Blue Jays. So like, I don't see why that would be so terrible. Mexico City feels a bit far for travel, like with the amount of travel that baseball has, but I'd be open to some international stuff.
Yeah.
The pitchers might all link arms, band together against expansion to Mexico City, but that would be fun. So we talked about expansion. Now let's talk about the other part of this, which is realignment. And so this is the part that's been the subject of internet speculation. People are sharing how they would expand or realign MLB if they got the chance, and what the ideal situation would be. So I want to talk to you guys and get your thoughts about how you would realign the sport if you had to. So would it be geographical? Would it be more based on how many teams are in each division or each league? Tell me a little bit about how you would realign the sport if you could.
If I could do it, I would keep the American League and the National League, and I would keep, so it's going to be 32 teams. So it's going to be divided by 4 or by 8, one way or another, almost certainly. It would be kind of silly to just keep it the same and add one team to 2 divisions. And, we've had different sized divisions in the past, but it's always kind of weird. My personal preference would be 4 divisions, just East and West for American League and National League, and make them 8 teams each. And basically, like, the AL East is still the same, and the AL West is still the same, but you kind of split the Central into those 2, and then give one of the expansion teams to, the other one to balance it out. But I think my concern with the smaller divisions, if they make them, matter, like hockey, the divisions don't really matter, but if they make them matter and every division winner goes to the playoffs, we're opening the door to some like really bad teams making the playoffs. Like, imagine if they made a division right now that was like Rays, Braves, Marlins, and Nationals, because they're all like kind of the, southeast corridor. One of those teams would have to be in the playoffs. They're all bad this year. So like,
are we forgetting the Beast Quake?
Right. So, I mean, that's the counter argument, but like, I don't want to see a quote unquote bad team in the playoffs regardless. So if they did 8-team divisions, I think you could have you could keep it 12-team playoffs like it is right now, and have both the division winners get a first round bye. The wild card teams play each other in 3-game series, and then the division series and championship series and World Series are all the same as right now. I think that would be my ideal. I doubt they do it that way, but that's my choice.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about splitting it into 4 divisions like you said. I mean, as a football guy, my head instantly went to like, 32 teams. I know what to do with that. And it made so much sense in my brain. Of the 4 divisions is kind of sick. I mean, it creates an interesting, like, I'd be curious to see what that does to like quote unquote rivalries, because like all of a sudden 25% of the league is a division rival. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I do wonder what that does to the actual, like, the mental side of it. I'm not saying positively or negatively, because I think about, basketball too. They're just 2 pretty much, right? Like, it's just,
they have divisions technically, but But it was how baseball used to be before they expanded in, I think, 93. was maybe when it changed, or maybe a little earlier.
Oh, yeah.
But
I remember that.
it was just East and West, but then it was, the playoffs were small. So it was just the two division winners would play for the championship series. Winner goes to the World Series. So I would still like to see playoff series and all that. But I think the bigger divisions would be cool because, like, your team rattles off, let's say a 10-game win streak, and all of a sudden you pass 4 teams in the standings, and it means way more. And every little game would count a little bit more, it would seem. And I think having more stakes for more games would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, why not just take after basketball and split it down the middle?
I like American League, National League, so it doesn't really matter to me how you split it in half. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying like you have two leagues, and every team in one half the league and every team in the other half. And it's like you're saying, if you go on a hot streak, you see a lot more movement in the actual standings. And it's all based off of final standing rather than division winners and this, that, and the other. And it's the same situation, first seed gets a bye if you want. Like, you can still have that type of like pattern in the playoffs. But if you're going to split it smaller and make it bigger divisions, I say just cut it in the middle and say, we've got American League and National League. Let's get after it. Because like that would be super exciting.
Yeah, I don't hate it, honestly.
Yeah, well, however you slice up, MLB will for sure be there, to watch it, to enjoy it, to see it. And I think, lots of interesting ideas presented here. But shifting gears a little bit to another story that maybe wasn't as big this week, but did catch my eye and, brings up an interesting concept that is pretty, like it happens a lot in sports. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about Ketel Marte and the Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte, he is a pretty consistent all-star at this point. He is a focal point for the Diamondbacks. And recently, there have been some rumors, there have been some leaking coming from the Diamondbacks front office that this offseason they'll be listening to offers on Ketel Marte because, teammates, coaches, people who are around the Diamondbacks and in the organization have taken a little bit of an exception to the way he's conducted himself in and around the clubhouse, taking time off, things like that, sort of rub people the wrong way over there. And so this was like kind of, buried in a little bit of like a Bob Nightingale dump, sometime in the last week. But it does bring up an interesting point. I think Ketel Marte, this is one of the more talented players we've heard something like this about recently. And so there'll certainly be some offers for him. And so my first question would be, if you were a fan of a team that had a need at the position, is Ketel Marte someone you would want your favorite team to trade for at the price that he would command?
I'll right off the bat, yes. He's awesome. Like, he's absolutely a stud. He is the type of guy I want on my team. Padres could have a need for an infielder like him, honestly. The reports I've seen, and granted, there's always, other sides to other stories and all that, but it's from what I've seen, the major issue was he took time off after the All-Star break, missed a couple of games, and reportedly it was due to him being frustrated that the team basically sold and became sellers, even though they were, maybe believed themselves not to be. And he needed to take a couple games off. People got upset with him. You don't want to see your guys quit on your team no matter where you're at. And at the same time, I don't blame a guy who's been carrying the team for feeling upset when you got rid of all of either his best friends, his best teammates, et cetera. It's like, he's not like a young pup either. So it's like, he's getting up there and he's probably thinking like, dude, are we really about to go through a rebuild again? And it's 3 games out of 162. It's 3 games. You already sold, signaling you didn't think you were going to be winners. So how mad can you be at him missing a few games? spin it, right? Like spin the story. If anything, your star player got a few days more rest. I don't know. I think it's overblown. I think he is a star player who any team would probably be lucky to have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, take out if this was a position of need, he is the best second baseman in baseball, and there's not really a close second. Like, there's other solid guys for sure, and all that, but he would be an upgrade on any team right now at second base, and that in itself is very valuable. And as far as the actual drama, like Matt said, like, oh, you never want to see a guy give up on this team. Well, but that's exactly what the front office did, right? So, they don't get punished for that. They get, oh, that's the smart move. But if Ketel Marte misses a few games because he's frustrated about that, it's a big deal. And I looked it up today, and, his manager, Troy Lovello, came out in support of him. Geraldo Perdomo came out in support of him. I think Ketel Marte said himself, like, all my teammates have said something, supportive to me in the last couple days or whatever since this became a story. And so I do think it's overblown. At the same time, I thought the Rafael Devers stuff was overblown, and we saw how that ended up. And so I'm never going to count it out. Obviously, it would have to happen in the offseason, where it might not be as much of a shock because an offseason trade just would never be as big of a shock as in the middle of June or whatever. But yeah, if he does become available, I would like the Red Sox to be in that conversation.
Yeah, if he becomes available, I fully expect every team essentially to at least give a call. Like, he's just such a valuable player, and like, I don't know. It's hard to think that one little thing like this would be something that deters actual competitive teams. Because, like, I'll tell you what, I love Jake Cronenworth more than most people probably do, and I would ship him to Arizona in a heartbeat. So,
Yeah, and I think having a player that's that good on your squad would be a definite plus. And I think I alluded to this being a gateway into a larger conversation about something that happens quite a bit in sports, which is people using the term diva to describe a player who is upsetting the status quo or upsetting the natural order of things in one way or another by their conduct, right? And so I wanted to talk about, what you guys think about that idea, that using, the use of that word to describe athletes who, are both talented and expressing a desire for their team to, perform better, or their coaches to perform better, their front office to perform better, or wanting out. You hear it described about players who want out a lot. And so what do you guys think, about, ascribing the term diva to athletes, and when is it deserved? When is it not deserved? What do you guys think?
I have like a pretty flat down the middle answer of, I think guys are like, there's both sides of this argument. They are passionate, right? Like, that's the main emotion driving this, is usually passion. And I think when it comes to guys who are divas or not divas, is it about winning or is it about themselves? That's truly my breakdown. Are they being passionate and dramatic or whatever because they want to win? That's being a competitor. Or are they being dramatic and explosive and all these things because they want to bat higher in the lineup, or they want more money, or they want, this, that, or the other? That to me would be more of a diva. So when I see stuff like this, it's like he's upset about a team giving up on him, or the front office giving up on the team. To me, that's not being a diva. That's being a competitor. I would be pissed too. Like, you want to win as a professional athlete. You want to win. So,
yeah, to me, the tag diva implies like they're requesting or requiring special treatment. And I think it also usually implies that they don't deserve special treatment, which I get it. Maybe, it's a team sport. no one deserves special treatment, but like certain guys earn the right to do things that other guys haven't earned. That's just how it works in professional sports. And I think we don't truly hear enough about the behind the scenes stuff in the clubhouse to know if anyone's a diva, really, unless it becomes like glaringly obvious. It's all speculation on our parts anyway. So I don't know if it's really fair for Ketel Marte to be labeled that way.
Yeah, I think, we see it with wide receivers. We see it with, maybe even corners sometimes in football, but not so much in baseball. So it was very interesting to me that this, that term got brought over to this situation, especially considering, the sort of kind of mild nature of the, the conduct from Ketel Marte taking a day off here to he's taking a day or two off here and there, things like that. It's just an example of like, this could be an example of like, a front office trying to drive a wedge between a player and a team that they would like to, sell off. And maybe didn't get the chance to, this trade deadline and, want to capitalize in the offseason. So it could be just all games, which just wouldn't surprise me in the least. But okay, so let's transition into, one of our, favorite segments over here on our show, which is Fan Corner. This is an opportunity for all of us to fan out a little bit for all of our teams. So we'll start in Boston with the Red Sox and talk about the Red Sox last week or so.
Yeah, the Red Sox it's kind of a low place right now, as low as we've been in a while. We won a series at home against the Marlins, but lost the finale of that series in like kind of a stupid way because of the game before. Our low leverage arm, Isaiah Campbell, couldn't get out of a 5-run lead, and so Aroldis Chapman had to come in, and then he wasn't available on Sunday, and we blew a save, and it was very frustrating. And then the Orioles came to town and swept a little short 2-game series against us. So we're on 3 straight losses right now. Offense has been lackluster. The bullpen has been giving it up more than they had been. And it's just, kind of low vibes at the moment. At the same time, they're still in a playoff position. They're still very much in this picture. There's not anyone that's like really, really crawling, breathing down their neck. I mean, the Royals are kind of playing well, but I don't know if I fully fear them. And we got a big series with the Yankees right now. We're playing game 1 of a 4-game series as we speak. I have it over here if you see me glancing away. And it's as big of a series as we've had this year. We're a game and a half behind them in the standings right now. And so, the result of this series could mean a lot for the playoff picture. But also, on the good side of things, if the Red Sox only win 2 out of the 4, then we have clinched the season series against them, which, if we go down to the wire and we're tied, that could be a big deal. The interesting thing of the week that happened is that we picked up first baseman Nathaniel Lowe, who the Nationals released, and he had been having a really bad year this year. But the last 4 years before that, he was a top 10 first baseman in baseball, offensively and defensively. So I think with the production we were getting from Abraham Toro just being nothing at this point, it was a good, low risk move. Like worst case scenario, he's as good as Abraham Toro was for us anyway, so we don't lose anything. Best case scenario, maybe the vibes in DC were bad, and that, he's a veteran player on a young up and coming team that just wasn't playing well at all. I don't know. Maybe he finds something. He's already hit a home run. He hit an RBI double in today's game. Like, I really was excited about the move, as excited as you can be for an August waiver pickup. But we'll see how it goes from here. Oh, and the other big news is we called up one of our prospects.
The
password is what they call him. One of the great nicknames in sports, because his name is Yost Nixon. It's hard to pronounce, and it has a lot of consonants in a row and stuff. But he'll probably start in tomorrow's game because I think Max Fried is throwing and left-handed. So, there's interesting stuff to look for. But they just got to simply play better and beat the teams on the schedule. So we'll see how this Yankee series goes.
Yeah, you hope we can step up here after a little bit of an up and down week. Step up over the weekend and then get off to the races there. But from Boston, let's go now to San Diego. Talk about the Padres. So eventful last 7 days or so over for the Padres for sure.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, we're still right where we want to be at the end of the day. Like, everyone is going to talk about that series against the Dodgers. And you know what? Like, there is a part of me that's worried about it in the long term. Like, it seems like 90% of the time when we're playing the Dodgers, the Padres just kind of forget how good they are and they start making all the dumb mistakes. And our pitchers stop having the same control and they start to get kind of wild with their pitches and they start walking guys. And yeah, it's just all the little errors start to like creep out when we play them, it seems. And yet, as of tonight, we're half a game behind. We have, 3 games coming up against them. And then after them, by record and, strength of schedule, we have the easiest remaining schedule in baseball. So if we can exit this series against them, even half a game behind or, 1.5 games behind, whatever, we have a chance the tiebreaker might not matter, right? Like the season series might not matter. If they just went, 500 against the Rockies, Shohei went out and got shelled against the Rockies. Like if they're going to continue to pull stuff like that, there's a chance that we may take over first and that would be awesome. I don't know. All in all, like we've had a great year against the Giants, but still like watching the past like 2 games against them, it reminds me like the Padres are a top tier team. Even if sometimes they don't play like it, we are a very talented team. This is, in my time following baseball, this is their deepest lineup the Padres have ever had. This is probably the best bullpen maybe the Padres have ever had. We've got solid starters. If King comes back and can get healthy before playoffs, like we've got all the makings of a team that goes on a run.
Good.
So I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, get us to playoffs healthy, and I'll be happy. Whether we're top of our division or we're going in as the 5 or 6 seed, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, just get us into playoff atmosphere. Let's see playoff baseball back at Petco because I'd argue we've got one of the best playoff atmospheres in all of baseball. So, I don't know. I think we're doing all right.
But yeah, it's certainly not, as tough as it is to, have everybody watching and not, play your best against a division rival. The larger picture is to be taken into consideration here, which is good. And yeah, that picture still looks pretty good for the Padres right now. And so, all right, well, let's end with and fan corner with the Angels. Dropped a series to the Athletics over the weekend. Dropped the series to the Reds early this week. Off day today on Thursday as of right now, so not playing currently, but coming up is Cubs, I believe Cubs, Rangers, then Astros. So it's going to be could be a tough stretch for the Halos coming up for sure. But the silver lining is that every game and every series that we lose makes the fact that the Dodgers couldn't beat us in 6 tries more and more embarrassing. So, I say keep the laughs coming. I'm in a text chain with a lot of Dodger fans. It's for a fantasy football league that I have with some old work colleagues. But they're almost all Dodger fans. It's like eight of them. And like, they're so mad that they're texting me like Angels Reds, like screenshots and like score. And I'm like, you guys, this is not hurting my feelings. Like, this is making me laugh really hard that you guys are still so mad that you're spending time on, in your lives, looking at ways to get under my skin, and you're sending me like screen grabs of like Angels Reds box scores. It's hilarious. Like I don't care as much as you guys do. And so, Dodgers fans still mad. It's been great to watch them, try to hurt me. And then I can just be like, you can't hurt me because the Angels beat you 6 times. Sorry. You got 2 tries and they beat you all of them.
That's the only argument you need as a baseball fan is like, because you can play the game of like, well, we were able to beat this team and they beat you, and head to head, you prove it right there. That's all you need. Angels are better than the Dodgers. That's just a fact.
The adult equivalent of just chanting scoreboard.
Yeah. It's like, look, let me pull up some screenshots for you and I'll show you what happened.
If the Angels are so bad, man, what does that say about the Dodgers?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Every time you make fun of us, guess what? You're making fun of yourself too, because you couldn't do it. That's where we're at in Angel Land. We might have to spend some time on the off season, spiraling about Mike Trout, maybe a little bit. I don't know if I'll, allow myself to do it, but because I like to remain level-headed for the most part, but definitely a concerning season for Mike Trout, not in ways that we've been concerned in the past where it's been injury related, but concerning in ways of that are new for people who follow Mike Trout closely. So we might have to spend some time in the offseason talking about that a little bit. But for right now, Joe Adele and Taylor Ward are both closing in on 30 bombs, which is super fun. So, we'll focus on the positive for now. But there might be some tough conversations coming in the offseason about what the future holds. But okay, so let's exit Fan Corner and talk about some predictions for the next week of play here. So our locked in segment here, we're going to lock in some predictions. But first, we want to talk about last week's predictions. So that'll be the order. So we'll start with Drew. You'll talk about your prediction from last week, how it went, and then you'll tell us your prediction for this week. So go ahead and let us hear it.
Yeah, so my prediction last week was that there would be a sweep in the Dodgers-Padres series. So, nailed that. Unfortunately, I got a little more specific when I predicted, and I said that it would be the Padres sweeping the Dodgers. And that did not happen. The Dodgers did sweep the Padres, as Matt referenced in his Fan Corner segment. It's just they would lose their heads a little bit when they get against the Dodgers. But anyways, my prediction for this week is that the Dodgers sweep the Padres in San Diego. It's very obvious that this has been happening ever since last weekend. This has been happening. The Dodgers they level up against the Padres. It's the Dodgers World Series is playing the Padres every year. So that's what I think. So
I saw on Twitter, man, the Dodgers rested like most of their dudes against the Rockies today in preparation of this.
Yeah, it's a big one. I'm sure a lot of Angelinos will drive down to San Diego, drown out the screaming Padres fans, and it'll be an easy weekend for the Dodgers. What it means for the division, I don't know, because like Matt said, the Padres' schedule is pretty favorable, so maybe it won't matter. But yeah, definitely Dodgers weekend coming up.
All right. There you have it. Dodgers weekend coming up. The question, since it's like the same days, is it going to be like the exact same pitching matchups too? Or like how is that going to shake out? Do you know yet?
I actually haven't even looked at who's pitching in the series, to be honest.
The Dodgers had a 4-game though, right? With the Rockies.
Yeah, we did have a day off where they didn't. So it might be like one off. But yeah, when it comes to the Dodgers stuff, I stopped even looking. I'm like, I'll watch the game, but I'm not getting as invested because it's like, who cares, man? Let's just go play baseball.
Yeah, I think with speaking as someone who like not necessarily in baseball, this is the case, but has competitive rivalries with skilled division rivals in other sports. That's how I approach it too. sometimes. It's just like, you know what? I don't care. Let's just play the game, see how it goes.
Just have fun.
So yeah, it looks like okay. So
Wish, man.
Yeah,
Yankees have ruined my day. I told my wife that it's Red Sox Yankees 4 games this weekend. She's like, so there's the weekend, huh? Yeah, kind of. But I'm like, but on the flip side, I could be the happiest you've ever seen me.
Yeah,
like,
it could be a fantastic.
Right. Because the Yankees
yeah.
Red Sox is not really. It's not like the one team always dominates the other anymore. So.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and that's the thing is about baseball, and that's different too than the sport I'm talking about, which was football. Is that like I'd play the Niners at most 3 times a year, and that's like if we're both so good, you know, or like same with the Rams. Like, you know, I do not have to do 4 days in a row of Seahawks Rams games, thank God. So it would be a lot different in that experience for sure. So just I was seeing. You know, Snell's going for the Dodgers. Darvish is going for the Padres on Friday. So that'll be a good one for sure. So yeah, a little shake up in the matchups there. But okay, so we're reversing the pick from last week. Gotcha. Roger that. Clock it. It's good. Now, Matt, talk about your prediction from last week and then give us yours for this week.
Yeah. So last week I said that I believe the Mets would end multiple games out of the 3rd wild card spot for the NL. They haven't moved at all. Going into my prediction last week, they were a half a game above the Reds. And as of tonight, on my latest Google search a few minutes ago, they are half a game above the Reds. So we'll take the L here. But with that being said, I still believe in that claim. I don't think that they're the playoff team. I think the Reds could do it, but we'll see. But as far as my prediction for this week, I'm not just going to reverse it. I'm not just going to say, oh, the Mets will actually be multiple games ahead of 3rd wild card. Nah. This week, Big Dumper is going to hit his 50th home run. I'm calling it now. He's not even at 48. I believe he's at 47, but he's going to hit number 50 this week. And I'll get more specific. It'll be against the Padres. We played them right after the Dodgers, and I just feel like after such an emotional series, we're going to be really prone to giving up just big shots. So,
Vetter Cup round 2, huh?
Dude, the Vetter Cup is going to kill me. Like, actually kill me.
Rivalry matchup of all time.
These are honestly, it's hard to focus on the Dodgers series because I'm looking ahead to my rivals, the Mariners.
Right. To the great rivalry, the greatest rivalry of all time. I want to know who the Mariners are playing before you guys, but I'm trying to look at it right now. Oh, the Athletics, and it's in Seattle. So you never know. He could go on another heater and get one shy of 50 before he goes to play the Padres, and then boom, there you are. So
I imagine he'll be completely dry until the Padres series, and he's going to end up hitting like 2 a game.
You think he's going to not hit any and then hit all 3 to meet your prediction against the Padres? Okay,
that's not my official prediction,
right?
But yes.
Okay, so number 50. And would that be a significant number of home runs for any reason?
Not particularly. It's not even close to the all-time season record. It's just cool.
Yeah, it's good. And look, maybe we'll get. I wish we could get him a lot closer to the single season AL record, because you could have like one of Aaron Judge's relatives follow him around to stadiums to watch him beat it like they did last year. I think that would be funny. They should do that if he gets close. Okay.
On the real though, the record for catchers is 48. Am I right?
Yeah, it's like people get weird, but yeah, the record for someone who was a primary catcher in a single season was Salvador Perez in 2021. He hit 48 home runs. And then it's like, well, how many when he started as catcher? The people like our home
home run draft, yeah.
But he's on pace to bring or to beat all sorts of records. That one, but like both the two that I mentioned, if you want to get weird and specific, and then as also the record for a switch hitter, I think is like 54 or something in a season. I think Mickey Mantle did that, so he could be the all-time switch hitting home run.
54 might be against the Padres.
Yeah, we'll see.
You never know. We'll see. All right. So let's end our MLB episode this week with how we end every MLB episode, which is with our dingers and stingers. So this is one good thing, a dinger, and one bad thing, a stinger from the world of sports from this week for you guys. So let's start, as we always do, with the bad and end with the good. So let's go back to Drew and talk about your stinger for this week.
Yeah, okay. My stinger this week, it's going to be like kind of hyper specific. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then it's meaningless. But those of you who do know what I'm talking about, I think you'll be with me. There are these guys. There's a couple different guys that do this. There's even I think a woman does this kind of thing. It's like a TikTok. They do these videos. Sometimes it's on YouTube, whatever. And the premise of these videos is every NFL fan's reaction to blank insert news, the draft to, whatever Sunday Night Football game. Doesn't matter. And it's always one person, and they move around and wear different shirts to like be like, well, right now I'm a Chargers fan and I'm reacting. Right now I'm a Broncos fan and I'm reacting. It's so not funny, and it's so not like clever. Like it's like Chiefs fans react to the Super Bowl, and it's like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, that's my boy. And it's like, yes, that is what a Chiefs fan is doing. Like, what is the joke here? Like, what? I don't understand it. I don't understand how they're so popular. And the reason it's my stinger this week is because I've been seeing a lot of ads on social media for the upcoming NFL season. And Thursday Night Football it's a week from today. Yeah. The first game of the year, or no, 2 weeks from today?
2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
Yeah. I got all.
Yeah, we got a gap week.
2 weeks from today is the first game of the season, and it's on YouTube. Or no, the Friday, it's the Friday Brazil game is on YouTube or something. And so they've been advertising with this guy being like a Chargers fan and a Chiefs fan, and I'm like, he's getting money from the National Football League right now to advertise this, and I think so. I guess to sum up my stinger, it's like mediocrity and not originality being rewarded by the thing that we are all trying to be a part of, and that sucks.
I can't lie, I had no idea what you were talking about when I read your stinger, and I was like thinking about it, I was like, I can't quite picture it. And as soon as you started describing it, I was like, oh my god, there's this one dude on TikTok who haunts me. He haunts me because that's all he does is he'll be like, the NFC East, and he'll represent all four teams, and it's just him switching shirts, and he's just like, me, I'm an Eagles fan. It's just the like cheesiest voice.
It's like, this is not like, at least if you're gonna do that, like get like hyper specific. Instead, it's just like the surface level stuff we all know about these teams. Like, I don't know. If for some reason it just gets under my skin, and it wouldn't if it wasn't being rewarded to such a scale.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we should be the ones.
It should be us.
It should
we
be
have like
us.
5 subscribers.
It should be us. And
I think it's 11.
yeah. The subscriber counts there for sure. We need to reach out. We need to get the NFL on the horn and ask them.
We're gonna start monetizing here soon.
Yeah, I mean, watch out. It's gonna be him's ads, before you can, say whatever you want to say. But yeah, I agree. These guys are very annoying to me. They make guys like my dad laugh, which is why they're being paid to do what they do. And that's how it goes. And so, best to them. Hope they can make good use of the funds they're receiving. But maybe now that you've went corporate and sold out, maybe you can find a new slant. Maybe it's time to figure it out. But okay, so let's go to Matt for your stinger for the week, which is kind of related to something we were talking about off mic.
Yeah. So my stinger for this week is the report just came out that ESPN has officially purchased. I don't know if it's just the streaming rights or the TV rights or what the exact, logistics of it is. But they essentially bought the TV rights for, I believe it was 5 teams, the Padres being one of those. And first of all, I hate ESPN. I don't want anything to do with ESPN. Second of all, I saw in the verbiage of the report was something along the lines of, we were going to have to pay for an ESPN subscription that will be separate of MLB, that will be separate of, whatever other avenues we're using to watch our sports. We'll have to get an ESPN subscription. On top of that, we're then going to have to pay an additional subscription /or fee to get our in and or out of market games. So it's just one of those did the Padres get at least a ton of money that we're going to use in free agency? I hope so, because it feels like the Padres maybe are getting put behind a paywall. At least where we're located, we're not super blacked out on MLB TV. So I get to watch 80-90% of Padre games pretty easily, pretty accessibly, pretty affordably. I appreciate that, right? It's one of the reasons I'm able to commit so much to watching baseball. And all of a sudden, it's if I do need all these different subscriptions, I love the Padres. My viewership's going to decline, very flatly put. And so that bums me out. I enjoy having baseball on and getting to throw the Padres on while I'm just hanging out. I enjoy that. So rip to them.
Yeah.
Have to imagine it won't affect the MLB TV subscription, but you never know.
Yeah, I think to my understanding right now, it's that because MLB currently holds the, distribution rights to those 5 teams, it's part of the, they have to put it in the ESPN purchasing package. But I think what they are meaning to say is that, what ESPN is trying to do is buy MLB TV, and then you would be able to add that on to your ESPN Ultimate or whatever they call it, Unlimited, ESPN Unlimited. And so that would be how MLB TV becomes available to people, is through the ESPN Unlimited thing that they actually watched that today. But that's my understanding.
Unlimited.
ESPN Unlimited. Yes. Now I have to get it just because it's unlimited. I have to get it. But
that's dangerous.
But yeah. So that's my understanding of it, is that it'll be those 5 teams were named because they're teams that the MLB owns the broadcast rights to because of what happened with Bally or whatever it used to be called. And so since they took those over, they'll now be part of that. But hopefully, it won't be any harder. It'll just be maybe a little pricier because of the initial get in for ESPN's service. But
yeah, I worry about that whole thing of I saw someone showing what it would take to watch a full season of the Nuggets. Because specifically their broadcasting and the NBA and stuff is so split. And it would literally cost, I think they showed, to watch every game that the Nuggets play this year would cost someone in Denver $3,200 of subscriptions. And it was just that's outrageous. Paying for all these, and granted, that was the full year of subscription, not doing the thing where you just sign up a fake email for a month. But that's too many things. At the end of the day, that's too many things. It needs to be centralized in some way. Even if their broadcasting is distributed differently, it needs to be centralized in some way. Because I'm not trying to have 4 to 5 subscriptions to watch one team. I just think that's outrageous.
Yeah, it'll definitely be worth following what happens with that, because there's other implications of this deal too, like Sunday Night Baseball moving to NBC and Friday Night Baseball ceasing to exist, and other stuff too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Netflix getting the Home Run Derby is part of this thing, exclusive rights to the Home Run Derby. So it'll be interesting to follow, and we'll talk about it here once it becomes official and we get all the details about what's going down. Because ESPN is up to some stuff right now, and I don't know what is going on, but they are up to some stuff. Yeah. So we'll follow it. But let's go and end our show with the good, and let's go back to Drew for your dinger for the week.
Shout out my literal dinger of the week, which is Roman Anthony just now hit a 2-run second deck home run in the top of the ninth inning against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, his first game at Yankee Stadium. So the Red Sox are winning 6-3 in the ninth. Chapman's coming in. It was cool to see. My real dinger of the week is all this talk of ESPN. They do so many things wrong. They did do something a little bit right this week. And, we talked about in a previous football episode about NFL Network being now purchased by ESPN. Well, NFL Network has Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen came back after 22 years and hosted an episode of SportsCenter. And they did the throwback intro and all that stuff. And it was really cool to see because SportsCenter used to be awesome. It used to be a show I would watch any night I could. And now it's just not what it used to be at all. And it was also bittersweet because Stuart Scott is no longer with us and he was his co-host, and he did give a little tribute to him and everything. But it was cool. I like Rich Eisen. Me and Dallas got to semi meet him kind of at a Joe Buck event one time. But,
yeah, that's fun.
You guys are just dropping names, casual. Yeah, we met Rich Eisen at the Joe Buck thing.
Yeah, it was a Joe Buck book signing. He wrote a biography, and
Terry Bradshaw's birthday.
And Rich Eisen was the moderator for a Q&A kind of deal. But it was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to be just do that again, ESPN. Make that how it works. I don't know how they've strayed so far, but it was cool to see.
Yeah, it got me irrationally being they could do that again now that they own him again. They could just do it, and then it's they're obviously not going to do it, but they could. So it was nice to see for sure. All right, well let's go to Matt for your dinger of the week, and let's see what you got.
Yeah, my dinger is simply stated: Matthew Stafford lives. People in the media were a little unsure. There's kind of a hashtag going around that Matthew Stafford died weeks ago, and they believe that Immortal trailer was actually him being cloned. I literally saw it was Underdog posted a video of him throwing to Devontae Adams as a touchdown, and the caption was literally Matthew Stafford's clone hitting Devontae for 6. It's just it made me laugh, but I'm just happy he's okay, because I was starting to come to terms with holy crap, Jimmy G might be the quarterback for the Rams potentially this year, and that sent shivers down my spine.
Yeah, well, great news for Matt Stafford. I'm glad he's back. It's great to hear it. I'm really glad that Jimmy G, who literally never beat Seattle, is not going to be the Rams quarterback. That's awesome. So it's going to be fun. But good for him. I'm glad whatever that thing was worked. Maybe more athletes will use it, and they'll be more popular now for rehab and stuff. You never know.
I'm scared of what they're going to say it is. Genuinely, I'm some report's going to come out. He's going to get hit with the PEDs or something. It's something's going to be.
This is endorsed by Goop, so I mean, it's all kosher.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I forget that Goop.
Gotta be legit.
Goop bypasses NFL's drug usage.
Yes, we're gonna get a press conference of Roger Goodell saying we're investigating Goop, and it's gonna be great. All right. Well,
Stafford just sniffing a candle.
yeah, sniffing the candle. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for our MLB episode this week. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you tuned in, make sure, hit the comments with your thoughts about realignment and expansion. If you got some cities you'd like to see that we didn't mention, let us hear about it. Share us around, follow us on Instagram. We might start popping off on there, here pretty soon. So, keep an eye on that space. But mostly keep an eye on this space as we upload new episodes. We appreciate the love. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.